Ba-da-ba-ba-da. What's going on, everybody? How you doing? Welcome in. Angel's here first, and then Giovanni close second. Guys are checking in early. Angel's here at almost 1 o'clock this afternoon. Checking in early, so it's all good. How you doing? We're live. Made some pretty good progress this week. Probably won't be a show next week just because I'm starting the new job Monday, and then I think they're going to be having me show up at a later time than I would normally be working. So I imagine I might be home too late. So chances are we're not going to do it next week, but it's the party. Nigel's here as well. Hey, chat, how you doing? This is hi. Let's see, Angel. Giovanni's back. No, is he in? Or did I already mention that? Oh yeah, that was just now. Good deal. So anyway, I made a pretty good progress here. I forgot to turn on my sign back and painted into that big major photo etch piece. What up, now? Angel says, what's up? And so was the when you're super gluing all everything on the outside. Hey, what's up, Nick? Nick's in the house. Evening, fellas. Let's say hi. Put that on screen for a second. Come on. Why is this taking a sweet time? I'm gonna have to clear out my cache again. It seems like everything's kind of delayed when I click on it. So it's still a mess. I painted the floor. I also added a piece of plastic strip behind this to kind of reinforce those little fingers back there. That'll help join that with the ramp piece that comes in from the other side. But what I really want to show everybody is this guy right here. And everything has been glued together and closed. The only thing I haven't done is put the floor in yet. Oops, turn this on mute. There we go. I haven't put the floor in yet because I'm not sure. I mean, according to the instructions, they want you to install the floor and install this whole piece as a unit with seats and everything in it. So I just don't know what's going to be easier. I'm trying to sort that out. But in the meantime, I'm still trying to make sure this fits properly. But because of the glue and the ridges I've had to put on the outside, I've got to make more space on the interior or on these pieces here. So that's what I've been doing is I painted everything black to mask any bleed through, anything you can see through, like on the top. There's gaps in some of these parts you can see through. I just wanted to make sure that was all black in there just in case. So not just me. What? You're lagging too, huh? Interesting. Lagging on your phone. Angel's lagging on his phone. Everybody's lagging a bit. So are we good now, though? We're good? Okay? Everybody's good? All right. So anyway, I'm going to go closer here so we can see I can show off the interior of this piece. So I've got all of the interior of this hallway section installed. So those discs are in, the walls are painted. I've even got this little section back here glued in place and painted. I just finished that this afternoon. I came home real quick and put some paint down on it. I got to straighten out one of the fencing pieces. That little fence back there is looks like it bent it a little bit, but I was probably from me trying to install this because getting this to fit, and you'll see what I'm talking about when we get there. I may also panel line the floor section here because I've got other things painted too. I got the seats, all the primary colors down for the seats, stainless steel, the backs, and then the cushions are done with whole red. I will be lightening that up using some pastels and stuff like that. And then I've got These also the jump seats, the folding seats, those are painted. And then I also have the seat rails, or not the rails, but the basically the bracket, the floor where the seats mount inside the cockpit area. So everything's painted except the exterior. And when I put this together, you'll see where, thanks Nick, you'll see what I'm talking about. So let me put these two halves together here. How is the surface finish after the metal primer? Good question. It was textured slightly. I did learn a lesson there to use some isopropyl. It seemed like any time where I used the iso alcohol with it, it was fine. If I used it just by itself and brushed it on, it wanted to, those areas that it pooled, it left a little bit of a texture, but fortunately you can't see a lot of it, or any of it for that matter. So as I install this, I mean, the fit is looking really good right now. The problem is just where you can see back here, like this is riding right up on the surfaces of the frame here. When I get this in place, pop it down in there, you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay, so this is together. Now you see that gap? I can squeeze that together, but it should fall together without me having to press on it. And I can see why that fence piece that little screen back there is getting bent, because every time I squeeze this, it's pushing it together. So I'm going to have to straighten that out. But for the rest, at least for the rest of the fit, it's really, really, really good. It's lining up perfectly in here. You can still see all the nice interior, but there is a gap there in it, because right up here is where I'm running into that interference issue, is right where, because this literally, it goes underneath this tab. You can actually see right about there from here forward. It goes right underneath here. So I'm having to remove plastic underneath here and then also scrape the sides, because I think down in these grooves, right up against the sides here is where I'm hitting. Up here, I've removed enough. I don't think I need to take any more off of the forward portion. I think just in the back. Yeah, me too, Nigel. Well, I was kind of worried about it at first, because just by how much, I'm still got to do a little bit. I'm going to do some repair work on the front of it too, because I've been taking this in and out. So there's some paint chipping going on. I painted the whole outside black so I could actually see where it was rubbing, and then take off some material in that area. So just for giggles here, I'm going to put the back piece. Actually, I'm going to squeeze it together and put this spine piece on, because that kind of holds everything together. But now you can see how it's kind of warped that little fence. This little fence right here, you can see it's curved because I've had to squeeze it together. So I'm going to have to reposition that a little bit. But other than that, I think it's a decent fit. Now, the other issue I'm running into is when I do put the floor in, the nose section of this floor piece fits very precisely up here in front where the pilot sits. So I almost have to separate this just slightly, just so I've got a little bit of a gap, just kind of like this. Just a little bit of a gap. Then I can install the floor and then glue everything together, I think. A lot of grinding. Yep, a lot of grinding. And just little by little, I'm just trying to make sure I get enough clearance. So let me install this floor piece here. This is going to go in here just like that. There we go. It goes down. Once it falls into place, it really does fall into place nicely. Okay. All right. So now you can see the floor back there. Those little tabs are sticking down. All right. And again, this is going to come together too. There's still a bit of a gap here on the bottom just because of a little bit of pressure. But these side pieces really fit quite well. So Green Strawberry did a very good job as far as the geometry on this piece. And then The other crazy thing was these little lightning bolt shaped things. I think I have those bent in the right configuration, because they basically have to take up this very sharp, deep triangle portion here, and then they glue to this tab on the top of the photo etch that's folded back. And I think I've got the right angle on those. Everything has to have the right angles just to fit. And I'll see if I can just kind of hold one up there, and you'll see what I'm talking about. So I take this. If it doesn't roll on my fingers, it's kind of hard to hold sometimes. But if I pop this down just right there, let's see, right about there. Okay, so there. See if I can let go. Okay, that's pretty close. It's not quite where it needs to be, but that's going to take up the space between the photo etch and the model, the original kit. And then it has this large, triangular tab up the top here. That's going to be primarily what holds it in place when that's glued down. But just getting the right bends and the right angles was the challenge. So let's see. Let me get the ramp piece here. You'll see. Let's see here. Okay, now, gosh darn this stupid thing. Trying to turn on the hockey game behind me in the background, but it's not updating right now. Anyway, so here's the floor piece. This is the ramp. That rear side of that floor piece inside will line up with the top of this. So this is going to go down just like so. I'm going to press on this to kind of hold it. Okay. So now if you look in there, you can see where those tabs come down right on top of that. It's kind of hard to see because it's black, but you can kind of see it lines up right there, right on top. So if anybody running up the ramp needs to get in, they're not going to have to jump over this huge gap. That's why I made it that way. And I put that plastic piece in to kind of take up some of the space. I may end up adding an additional piece on the lower section of that, just where those tabs are, just to fill that all in, so it looks like one solid ramp. So I'm going to pull this back apart so I can start grinding away again. I think once I get this to fit where the body halves will close up without any effort, then I know I've got it. But it's just removing the right amount of material. That's the key. And it's just taking its time. So let's see if I can get this back out. I'm going to pull this off the top. And immediately, it's like as soon as I do that, it just relieves the pressure. So you can kind of see how much tension is on that. I'm trying to get this floor piece out without breaking it again. I already did one time earlier on in the build, as this whole front piece was kind of a pain to glue on there. I'm just going to set that aside. All right, so this should come right out. So I think where my interference is, let's see, put this back in. Start. Make sure I'll just leave it out for now. The interference is back here, so I'm having to take off material under here on both sides, and then you can see where I've been scraping the paint away. What's up, Julius? Good skills helps a lot. Yeah, well, I suppose experience as with anything, right? So I'm just going to keep taking. I took off some material already, but I think I need to do more. I just have to keep removing more and more. Because if you look back here again on the top edge, you can see all the glue, and this is just how it's hard because you can't put any glue on the inside, so everything's got to be done from the outside. And I'm using a lot of that filler as a binder to keep the glue in place as you spread it around, but it leaves a bit of a ridge there. So I did sand some of that off, but I've got to keep removing some of this plastic in here to make room for that. Once it once I get enough going, it should fall right into place. I'm just using my 4mm chisel to do most of the work. But it is kind of a mess because when you scrape this stuff off like this, it just creates like static electricity. So I end up with these little shavings all over me and all over the room and the bench. What's up? Julius says hi to everybody. Also message Julius because I finally received my master grade O from USA Gun Store. I finally got one. I haven't really opened the box, but I forgot how large that kit is. It's just amazing how big that box is. It's massive. Reminds me of like a perfect grade, you know, that size of a box. I mean, these chisels work really well for removing quite a bit of material. It's freaking huge. Yeah. The box is almost 24 inches long, or wide, I should say. It's about 6 to 8 inches deep, and then comes with a handle and everything on it. You know, just like pretty much like a perfect grade. Did a lot of this chiseling away when I was initially removing all the interior stuff to make room for this photo etch set. But this has just been a tedious process to get it right. I imagine it might be kind of boring on your guys' end because to see the same thing over and over again because I've been working on this, but it's taking all this time. But I think the more space that I make for that interior block, you know, I think it's going to ultimately be better in the long run because there won't be any interference, won't be any pressure on the halves, you know, there won't be any pressing, any extra stress on that photo etch. As it is, I still have to do some touch-ups because all the times I've taken it in and out, it's getting a little chewed up. Paint chips and things. What's this? Makes me feel inadequate with my new 144 gun. Yeah, no, but that's a real grade. Those are nice too. I like the RG lines because most of them, in fact, all of them, I think, utilize master grade type technology, but just in a 144 scale. So it's really, really detailed, really, really articulate. You know, the articulation is amazing. You'll all better stock up on your Mr. Hobby thinners, top coats, and paints. It's going to be a production issue that will affect supplies. Place an order for thinner, matte, semi-gloss. Why is that, Julius? Did you hear something come down the pipe that all of us in the room should know about? Or is it a Japanese issue? Is it a Japan issue? I did order another kit from Hobby Link Japan. It's a Macross kit, the theatrical version of the Zentradi armor. And yeah, the kit alone is relatively inexpensive as far as the US, but the shipping is really what's just ridiculously extortionary. I thought you'd start out with oil supply. Oh, okay, gotcha. That makes sense, I suppose. Oil supply issue, yeah, could be. Well, I have plenty of thinner and plenty of guy notes, top coats and stuff. I've been using the guy notes really a lot more than the Mr. Hobby stuff as far as gloss and flat coats. I'm really enjoying the gyno stuff right now. I got spoiled by it. I haven't used Mr. Hobby for a while for a top coat. It used to be exclusive. Everything was always Mr. Color, Mr. Hobby. You know, the paints, top coats, everything thinner. But somebody introduced me to the guy nuts, and I've never looked back. You can substitute all Mr. Thinner's automotive lacquer thinner and retarder. Yeah, I don't know about that so much, but automotive grade stuff, wouldn't that be a little harsher on the kit? Just thinking about that. Due to oil shortages, Mr. Hobby put out a letter, and Zach from USAGS made a short video about it. Oh, okay, cool. I'll have to look it up. So if you guys want to look it up, Zach's pretty good about keeping everybody informed with stuff like that. But, oh well, it is what it is. What are you going to do? Stock up on it, I suppose. I don't need any paint right now. I've got all the paint I need. Okay, I think I've taken out enough here. I am going to work on a little bit of this section here, and then I'm just going to, again, test fit. It's all about test fitting. Remove some material, and you test fit some more. Remove material, test fit some more. I should be able to close this up without having to apply pressure to it. That just means there's not enough clearance in there. So if I can find that sweet spot on each side. See, I end up wearing all these little shavings. They get everywhere. It's crazy. Once I get the fit right, I'll go back and repaint this with black again, just to, shade. It's almost like I used to do this with when I was hand painting everything, doing like a macro skit or something. I would paint all the interiors of the joint, the individual sections, the leg. Anything you could see inside, I would paint black because I didn't want anybody looking in there. I wanted it. It kind of reminded me more of an anime style paint scheme because all the areas you can't see are just black, dark areas. So I kind of like doing that, things like this, so you don't see what's going on inside, especially the areas. I mean, stuff you want to see, but you shouldn't be looking at, between the frame and the photo etch. I don't need to see that. I want to make sure that's not visible. All right, let's do a little work on the other side, and then we're going to take another stab at this and see if it fits right. So I got quite a bit more to take off here. I don't talk to a Kiwi about fuel issues. Currently paying $3.74 per liter. Yeesh. I wonder what that equates to in gallons, like the U.S. I mean, we're still paying over $5 right now. Washington's just stupid. Washington State is stupid because they've applied so many other taxes on top of the regular fuel taxes that it's not even the oil shortage that's causing our prices to go up. It's our stupid governor. It's just the way this state is running. And then they just figure the only way to get out of their shortfalls is to tax us. They just passed an income tax for millionaires, right? Millionaires tax. Figuring, anybody that makes more than $1 million a year will special income tax. Well, you're not supposed to have an income tax in Washington. In fact, it's in their constitution. But the fear is that when the millionaires get wise to it and they go, well, we'll just move away, or they'll take their business to another state, then the state will make it up some other way by further taxing us. And we'll end up in about 4 years having an income tax. which we should never have. It's just got the wrong people running the show. 350-ish, yeah. That's about what we're at, too. You're in Texas, right, Nick? I keep saying that, like I don't know. I know you're in Texas. Oh, 829 for diesel. Oh, my God. Oh, man. Thank God I don't have a diesel truck, right? Thank God I have a hybrid. And I'm going to work for an all-electric car company. I'll kick this up a little bit just because just to give myself a little bit more. Actually, I got to go this direction. Oh, no. No, see, I had it right. There we go. Get it back. I'll change the old school's in. What's going on, George? Let me adjust that. Diesel's 490, huh? Yeah. All right, so since George popped in, I'll have to bring out the photo etch again and show the interior of it, where we're at. I'm still just trying to make room to make sure this fits properly. The pieces together, it fits in there, but there's a little too much interference. I'm having to squeeze the model together to get it to work, and I can see it putting pressure on the back of this. So, but here is the. In fact, let me just try to straighten this out now that this fence is all jacked. Yeah, it's not too hard to straighten, thankfully. But I am going to have to adjust where it lands because as these come together, it's squeezing on it. But anyway, here's the interior for George, who hasn't seen it yet. I'm really happy with the resin quality was good. The details were good. There weren't any little mold issues, with the resin. And then, well, in a second here, thanks, George. In a second, I'm going to install it back in here, and you can kind of see what it's supposed to look like. The floor has just been painted, floor section, but I haven't panel lined it yet because I have to install all of the seat brackets and then the seats have to go on after that. So I'm going to panel line this whole thing first. And then I was looking at the original piece to see, seat placing because there's two here, and then the single pilot seat in the front. So all those have to be placed right so there's enough space between them. I don't want to have crowding going on because I'm going to have the pilot, and then I'll have one person sitting in the left front seat, I guess, if you want to, like the forward seat. And then there's two people on the ramp in the back. But the problem I'm having is it's still interfering with a little bit of this section in the back. So I'm trying to just remove more of this material so it's not squeezing on the plastic when I get in there. Or squeezing on the photo etch, I mean. Okay, let me clean this off and I want to test this real quick. See how much better, if any, it's fitting. All right. Okay. So this has to go in here first. Doesn't have to, but it's easier. Okay. And then I just give a little bit of gap in the front. All right, now let's slide this through here. It still feels like it's running into tension. It's going to take some touch-ups. It's getting easier. I can tell that it is getting easier when I go in because it doesn't. it's not as tight. It feels like it's sliding further back before it drops in. So, because I have to kind of drop in over this ridge on the side where the original floor is. And then I'm not gonna put the floor in. I just need to test fit this. It's still taking a little bit. You can still see that gap there. And I can close it, but if you look at right here, it's right up against it. See what I'm saying? It's like I just got to keep taking more off the sides, right down in here. And then I think I've pretty much got this in the back okay. It's just on the sides up until about here. So right about from here to here, I'm going to just take off more material on each side. But now you can kind of see the fit is really good, though, as far as the shape of it, the photo edge, everything fits in just like it should. Sits right up against the body. Wearing a kit. Plaid PJs? Yeah, I am. I'm not wearing... Yes, I am wearing plaid PJs because we were trying to decide when we got home today. It was like, are we going to go get dessert somewhere, or are we just going to put the comfy clothes on and relax? Because I haven't been working all week. I'm still waiting for the new job to start next week. So, but anyway, there's another look at the interior from the bottom, and then with the ramp on here, which is still up here on a skewer. The ramp's going to go in and be hanging down about at this angle here, kind of like that. But once I get that piece painted, it'll look a lot brighter. It's just hard because I painted everything in black primer, so I'm kind of using that as a pre-shade. But yeah, I think once I adjust that little fence, because you can see how it's getting bent now. It's not straight across anymore. Right here in the back, because of that pressure that's pressing on the sides. It may end up just holding that position anyway, but I want this gap. I want to get rid of this gap. This is what I really want. I want this thing to fit together without having to apply pressure. I should be able to close it up. So I just separate that a little bit. This comes right out. Wearing a kilt? No, I'm not wearing a kilt. I'm wearing plaid pajamas. I don't wear a kilt. I'm not Scottish. My wife is Irish, but okay. So what I was talking about earlier was from basically this mark here. So from here back, this is where I've got to take off more of that. And I think some of it's getting up into this area. So I'm going to keep scraping away. Just making a mess with all these shavings, but I suppose I could take a Dremel out and just make quick work of this, but that would just be noisy and obnoxious. So I'm just doing it the old-fashioned way. 4mm scraper, chisel, whatever. Again, once I get the right fit, then I'll go ahead and repaint this black. So anything that if there's any gaps anywhere that you can see through, you shouldn't be able to see any of it. That's one other reason why I did this whole thing in black on the outside, just because you can see right here where it's rubbing. The paint's been chipping off because of where it's rubbing. And I think those are the areas that I'm trying to remove that plastic to get room for that. And so that's right about in this area. Chocolate marshmallow fish again. That's right. It just sounds wrong, but I know it's probably a sweet treat, but it just chocolate marshmallow fish just doesn't sound right. And keep going right up to that circle, that wing opening, and just take off as much as I can because you won't see any of that, any gaps. Once I install the wing sockets, those will fill in that area. You won't see anything, through there. You won't see any gap between the photo etch and whatever. It's just static electricity. That stuff is everywhere. I got these little shavings all over me. I got a bump like right here. I think that's pretty much where I'm feeling most of this pressure. Looks like it's close right here. I'll take a vacuum to myself. Just got shavings everywhere. All over me. I'm wearing my O shirt today in honor of actually finally receiving the O in the mail. So yeah, FedEx shipping from Haberlink, Japan was like $90 for one kit. It's like, oh my God. Let's see if I can put some. It's in the private warehouse right now, so I'll see if there's anything else I can add to it, at least make the shipping worthwhile. But make sure I'm not going too thin. This would start coming out the other side. That would be bad, wouldn't it? That'd be horrifying. All right. Take off a little bit more right here. It's a pretty cool kit. A lot of area to add detail. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. Chocolate licorice bullets. Is that what you... Yeah, I'm hoping I can do an interesting color scheme with the O. Maybe and add some new panel lines and do some, good color separation. I haven't seen too many different paint schemes. Most people stick to the traditional yellow, but it's a pretty big palette to for somebody that wants to do a little bit of custom work to it. All right. Now back to this side. So I did quite a bit here. I took out pretty deep on this side. I don't know how thin this is getting. I got to be careful that I don't go through. It's still pretty thick. I don't think I have to worry about that, but it did occur to me that I've been just chiseling away, not realizing I might be getting close to the outer skin, but I think it's all right still. Let's see, take it off here. Chocolate licorice bullets. Ugh, just doesn't sound right. We should be thankful it's not a kilt. Too many hairy ball moments. Yeah, that's true. Don't have to worry about that, you guys. No kilts. No kilts today. Or tomorrow. But like I said in the beginning of the show, there probably will not be an episode next week, only because I'm starting the new job, and I think they're going to have me coming in at a later start time that will normally be my regular schedule later on. So I don't know if I'll even be home, even a little bit late. I think I'll be home quite a bit late, unless they cut me loose early. So we'll have to play it by ear. I'll probably know by Tuesday. Monday, first day. If they cut me loose earlier on Monday, and then if it's the same on Tuesday, then maybe I'll know what's going on Wednesday. But let's just plan on not being here next week. But we'll see. Hopefully, maybe it'll work out. But I don't know. All right. It feels like there's still plenty of plastic there, so I'm going to keep going here, taking off some of this material. I don't know about chocolate marshmallow fish. Yeah. See, I'm not a big fan of. Is it black licorice too? Is that what you're talking about, or is it something else? It's a different flavor. Because I'm not a huge fan of licorice anyway, but especially black licorice. Okay, it must be just I was taking something off and it felt like I was hitting like a peg coming in from the other side, but it must be just one of the original pegs that I had to remove when I was taking all the interior material out. All right. Okay, let's try this again. This is just a trial and error, So you pop it in, see how it fits. Yes, I've lived in OZ. The 70s, 80s, miss it a lot. What's that? Lived in OZ. Okay, this is almost perfect. All right, there we go. Now let's see. It still feels. No, it's on the outside. Yeah, it's like I gotta squeeze this front section in too as we're going because it wants to hook on the outside. There's a little bit of a lip where the canopy piece hooks on, and every time that's why I gotta repaint some of the little touch-ups in the front here because this has just been rubbed away. You can actually see the photo etch coming through because I've been removing this in and out. It still feels like there's a little bit, but not much. I'm putting tension on it, but it's getting easier. It doesn't feel like I have to press as hard. There's still a little bit of a gap there. Just trying to see where it's hitting. It is right up against. You know what? It might actually be down at the bottom edge too. Right where. Yeah, I don't know. It might just be because of the way this photo etch overlaps this. There may not be any way to get around it. It looks like I'm clear, but I can see a gap on either side at the top up here, this end underneath, but it's hard to see what's going on here. It does look like it's right up against it though. It looks like it's touching. And it's still like right around this area on either side. I think that's what's keeping that from coming together. Yeah, I may just have to bend that. I may just have to have a curve in that fence down there on the bottom. This might be the way it's going to have to sit. But anyway, let me see if I get this back out. Yeah, once you give it a little bit of separation, it pops right out. So, but I still see, like, looking down in here, I still see like it's hitting like right here and maybe right here. And that's some of the thicker, not quite, but it is thicker there because of this, all this mechanical stuff going on out here. These exhaust nozzles come off. Those aren't glued in yet. Those are separate pieces as well. There's a top and a bottom. To that, they're shaped differently depending on the top nozzle or the bottom one. I suppose I could just pop those off just to keep them aside for a moment. I think they're the same. Oh no, they aren't. Okay, there is a detail. So there is a left and a right to these, as well as a top and a bottom. Okay. All right, once again, let's pull this apart. Yeah, it just feels like it's right here, right in this area. You would not go back to Australia if you were paid to. Far too many dangerous critters. Yeah. Also like black licorice. I love red licorice. Yeah, I can do red all day long. But it has to be a certain kind. Some of this stuff is like really nasty. It's just like waxy garbage. But a good red, Australia. A good red licorice will go all day. So you lived in Australia, huh? Damn. I think I'd like to visit. But yeah, like you said, I'm not sure if I want to live there just because of all the critters. That has got to be getting close to the outside edge because I keep hitting this ridge right here. I can't tell. I don't see anything. I don't see any light, like it's really thin. Must have been where there was a support structure that's gone now, because as I'm scraping this off now, it's creating a little bit of a lip. This feels like I'm getting close to the outer of the skin, and I got to be careful. I don't want to go through. Vacuum. They just vacuumed in here too. I'm gonna have to do it again. What about putting watercolor paint on the outside of the photo etch? Reinstall where it's making contact. That's a good idea. Could do that. Do I have any watercolor paint? I don't know. I suppose I could use. I don't know. I don't know if I do. I've got enamel stuff. Maybe I could use some Tamiya enamel or something. Aussie is great to visit. 3 or 4 weeks. just similar. Or you can use a Sharpie. Yeah, well, it's all black, so I don't know. I don't know if the Sharpie will transfer. Probably won't. Let's see. I don't know what I've got here. Let me see if I can find something. Okay. I do have, like I said, I got enamels, but I don't have any. Or actually, I got Citadel paints. Those are water-based. I think I could use some of those. If I get some water, let me try some white, Citadel white. Let's see what we got here. Contrast medium. I thought I had some white paint. This is also contrast medium. I know I gotta have some white in here. Oh yeah, there we go. Let's see, this is probably gonna have to be stirred up. Some of this might rub off going in, but let's try this. I gotta get a little bit of water. Give me 1 second, I'll be right back. All right. Set that down. One second here. Restart that. Okay. Now, would you guys suggest putting the paint on the kit or putting it on the photo etch? Might be easier just to put it on the kit, huh? And then I can see where it's rubbing. So this is ceramite white. It's about as acrylic paint. Well, I don't have any acrylics. I had Tamiya acrylics, but a friend of mine took my entire box of that. I haven't seen it since. I don't even think he's using it. Steal some lipstick from the I know. On the PE, so it will transfer to the, yeah, put it on the kit. Well, one's saying put it on the kit, the other saying put it on the PE. Transfer to the plastic. Yeah, but if I do it on here, I should be able to see on the black right away. I'm just going to go on the kit real quick. I'm pretty sure this is where I'm having my issues. So we'll just cover all this, see what that turns into, if anything. We'll do the same with this. How's everybody's weather? We've had nothing but rain today. All right. Get rid of that, clean that up. All right, get this together before that dries. All right. Gosh darn this stupid thing. Keeps catching right on that ridge. All right, so that's in place, well, sort of. There. Squeezing it just to see where it goes. Okay, moment of truth. Let's see if I can separate this. There we go. Well, there you go. So it's hitting. Yeah, it's hitting right at that ridge. So it must be right where it's hitting there on the side. Almost clear on this side, but right along that ridge, the glue, that's the glue ridge. There's a glue ridge there, quite a bit there. And then on this side, so I've got let's see here. Oops. Gotta put this in. This is what lines up the whole piece, so you get this floor piece in. And that sits in like that. Yeah, it's right. Okay, I can actually see the marks. So it's right here, right where this it actually changes angles. It's hitting right there. That's right where the back of this is. And then I've also got quite a bit on this, hitting on this piece. I'm going to have to take more plastic off here on the this underside of that roof, because that's really hitting that glue strip. But then it looks like it goes all the way down that line. So there's still, it's like this area here, here, and right here. Primarily, yeah. It's right where this transition, right where this, just past the rear, or you can actually see the imprint. Yeah. I'm leaving. gotta be quick. You're leaving. All right. Who's leaving? Wait. 5 people transfer the PE. It was also 85 and sunny. Don't say a word. What's up, Mr. Logical? How you doing? Misread. Don't say a word. Now's our chance. That was a good idea, you guys. That worked out well. So now I can see exactly where I gotta get rid of this. Get rid of more material, especially on this one side. You can see a whole bunch of transfer there. So keep on scraping away. Let me get rid of some of this. All right. Hit not grit. Should you put it on the PE so you can see the plastic needs removed? Yeah, I suppose. Either way, I mean, I can see Nick's asking. We could have put it on either side, but I put it on the kit just so when I squeezed that together after this was installed, I could see exactly where it was pressing. And you can see where the transfer is. It was still right where I suspected. I mean, I've been taking off material back here, but obviously just not enough yet. So we're going to keep scraping away, especially right here. And then back here, right where, it's basically right where this line is. You can see that line, that it changes direction. So it's kind of diagonally and then it goes straight back. So that right where that ridge is, right on the inside here. So from here, kind of this angle, that's where it's been catching, like right here. If I scrape all this off, I'll just go back and put it back on, paint the PE again and see, but I think it worked out fine with having it on the kit, because then I can really see where it's hitting on the black paint. Yes, it is the Dune Ornithopter. You are correct, sir. This is a photo etch set from Green Strawberry that actually replaces all of the interior to make it look like the movie. So you've got this whole hallway section that goes all the way to the back. The normal kit has a big mechanical block that kind of goes in this area to attach all the wings to from the outside. So this completely replaces all that. So I had to gut the entire interior of it. And then, let me put that on screen so everybody knows who's asking. As long as you can see the contact points, it's good, yeah. So what I'm trying to do, and I'll show you this picture. This is what I'm trying to recreate. Is there's a scene from the movie where they're rescuing the crew of the spice harvester. And when they take off, I've got some resin figures that mimic that. So they're taking off, and there's two guys on the ramp. There's the cockpit, obviously the pilot, and then there's another girl in one of the seats up front. So But this photo etch set comes with all that interior to kind of mimic this, to make it look like that. And this is the, let's see, I think I took some pictures of it. Yeah, here's the entire set. So you've got the photo etch set and then the resin figure set. So you got a pilot, one girl sitting in the seat, and then you got the two on the ramp, which is Josh Brolin's character, and then the figures that came with that look great. Yeah, the figures are really, really good. It's for a resin print at that scale. They're phenomenal. I have them all painted, primed. I haven't done any paint on them yet, but I'm just trying to get this thing to fit right. This has been the biggest pain in the ass you can imagine, trying to get this giant piece of photo etch to fit properly. I mean, I had to gut everything, had to modify a lot of different parts to get this whole thing to fit right. And now I'm getting really close. I'm just trying to make sure there's no undue, unnecessary pressure on the photo etch as I remove this material, just to make room for it. So when I close this up, I shouldn't have to squeeze the model together. It should fit just right. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm just making a mess with all these shavings. It's everywhere. Stuff's all over me. It's going to be all over my desk too. Anyhow, it looked like it was hitting right here. And this is where I thought one of my areas was right behind this socket. It's thick right here. The plastic's pretty thick, and that's where it was hitting. So what I was doing is I was putting these two together. And this is basically for Mr. Logical Scato. So I was noticing that these you had to squeeze together. And because the photo etch, once it's in that block, it was pushing this out. I could squeeze it together fine, but it's putting a lot of pressure on this piece, and that's what I'm trying to avoid. So I think if I get enough material in the right place removed, I should be able to close this up normally, and the kit should fit together like it's intended to. At least that's my plan. I'm trying to make it work. This is by far the most extensive photo etch modification I've had to do to any model, I think. Because there's a bunch of, unless you're familiar with the model, I won't go into too much detail, but there was a bunch of interior structures here that hold this whole thing together. And all that has to be removed in order to make room for this. All right, this side, there's still quite a bit there. You can see, yeah, it was mostly right across this ridge and then along the back. I don't think there was too much. No, this side's pretty good as far as that. But I've got this here. You can see under this lip, and then along this spine edge right in this groove. So I'm going to go ahead and just go straight down here. Just trying to get some of that out of there. This stuff's all over me. I know I keep saying that. Oh, you saw them in the AmFam chat. Yeah, I did take some pictures of that. They look really good. That part will come later toward the end, I think. I should be able to install the figures before I put the canopy on. I'm going to have to see where the seat placement is in the front, just to make sure. Otherwise, I'll have to paint at least 2 of the figures beforehand. I don't know how they're going to go on the ramp that easily. I may have to install, since the ramp, well, actually, you know what, as long as I know where the hand placement goes, because he's kind of holding on to the ornithopter as he's holding on to the guy, you know what I mean? He's like, his hands are spread out. So as long as I get that right, I should be able, and the ramp section just goes on with the landing gear, so it should be a fairly easy placement as long as his hands aren't, his hands are in the right place. But if I got to glue them on when he, after I get the ramp installed, that's fine too. But that'll be a bridge across when we get there. All right, where else did I see all this? That's right, it was right back here, all this area. Where this goes under the roof of this tail section. There was a lot of paint transfer right there. Are you going to put a poll on your channel for the next build? Yes, I think I will do that. I think I tried that once, and I wish they give you more like options, like how many you can include, how many selections. Like if I could put 4 kits on there, that'd be nice. But I don't remember how many. I think they limit it to 2 or 3. Nigel and I were talking about this because since I got the O kit, they're like, oh, are you going to do that next? I don't know. There's lots of kits I'd like to start. I don't know which one. But if we do put a poll out there, that'll be kind of a cool thing for everybody that the loyal followers that want to contribute, in a way, like to decide what instead of just doing it like I have been doing it live, where I just bring the kits out and then everybody kind of vote in the live stream. But I guess I could do a poll earlier before the live stream and see what the results are when we get there. But there's still a lot to do on this kit. That's a ways away. Let's see, did that hit up there? No, it was mostly just along that ridge, which, yeah, that's right in this area. Might go back to a Macross kit. I don't know. We'll see. I just did that commission though. It was Macross, so we'll see. I think the O would probably be one of the suggestions, but there's a few in there that I might put in the poll and see. OMG does look fun. Yeah, it's big. I can't remember. I forgot just how large that kit actually is. It's massive. The box is just stupid big. Okay, I got to take off a little more. I can see right back here where this was rubbing right here. That's some of that interior, some of those pegs where the original pegs were. Okay. Let me see one more time here. So this was, yeah, that was actually around my lip here. I got to take off a little more right here. It was hitting right about here. I already got all that on the sides. We're getting there. Slowly but surely. What was that? The option limit. Whoa. The option limit must be new. There's 4 options. Last one I saw yesterday, the Kentucky ballistics. What are we talking about? Sorry if I missed something. I'm trying to keep up on the chat as I'm going here. All right. I think I'm ready for another test fit. Before I add any more paint, I'm just going to there we go, set that together. It's pretty close. Still, if I can get that fit down in place. Yeah, it still looks like it might be touching right there. I thought you said you only had 2 or 3 options. Yeah, well, I wasn't sure. It's been a while since I've done one. I just don't remember. If I thought the last time I tried to do one, I was limited as how many you could put in the pole. So I was thinking, without actually looking at it, I couldn't tell you. That's what I said. I could be completely wrong about that. So you suppose you have at least 4 options. Last one was yesterday. Okay. Oh, gotcha. So yeah, 4 would be cool. That would be fine. I think 4 is enough. Get 4 different, kits, different genres. See what people are interested in looking at. I think I got to take off a little more. Right back here. Julius wants the core fighter. I know, I snapped it. I was snapping that because I had another thing in paint. Julius wants the core fighter. Yeah, that is true. That is another nice kit. Could weather that really nicely. I was thinking more of rather than the traditional, doing a low vis paint scheme on that too, rather than traditional red, white, and blue. I think the low vis scheme would look nice. This is getting thin. I'm really taking a lot of material out, but it's necessary to make sure that it fits properly. What? Mike hasn't finished a kit? Again, Nigel, I wasn't starting it because it was one of those nights where I had everything in paint and I couldn't do anything further on the current kit that I was building. So I pulled one out of the stash just to snap together, yes. I didn't continue it when I was done, yes, that is true. So I guess in one respect, yes, I didn't finish it. I snapped it. It is snapped together. But rather than skip a broadcast because I didn't have anything that I could. Everything was in paint, and I can't remember what I was building at that particular time, but everything was being painted all at once. So I just had to pull something out of the stash for a couple nights, a couple of weeks, and then I went back to the original build after that. But I'd already completely snapped the kit together at that point. Well, the Sundowners markings, yeah, perhaps. Starting to get more aggressive with this as it goes on. Originally, I was kind of being gentle with it, but now I'm just trying to get it done. This is just a lot of messy work. You pause the quarterfinder because of old to gold contest. That might be the case. I don't remember, but it was that's very possible. It was something to do with that. Where I was painting everything at once because I'd have to go through. Actually, I could just go through and look at the old, the video list and see, in order, because there was a time where I was snapping the core fighter and then I didn't. So, or that stopped. That might have been old gold. It's a good possibility. Okay. Try it one more time now that I took out quite a bit of material there. Yeah, that's a very good possibility. Very good question, Julius. I think that's as good as it's going to get. This is sitting down right where it should in the front here. So let me put this spine piece on again. This will hold everything together. I think I'm just going to even this shape out, even though it's straight across. I can kind of give it the same bend on both sides, so it's even on both sides. I think that's good. Might have to give it just a touch of glue on one of these tabs, but where that screen is, there's a little fence section in the back there. See that little screen? Yeah. Oh, is Nick out of here? See you, Nick. Sorry, I missed that part. You should have at least 3 unfinished kits at any given time. No, I've been pretty good about finishing something I start, but as I get older, I think I have been a little more have done, that more likely than not, where I've actually had kits that I haven't finished. I've just started snapping. There was one, I was doing a macros kit, and I just, for some reason, something came up or whatever, but I just, how you start building something and you just, you're just not feeling it. That's where I was with that one. All right, so let's see what time is it. Ooh, we're almost out of time here. Sorry, I burned up the entire hour and a half doing nothing but modification of this thing, but I think we're getting somewhere. I think it's just going to be, just by the way this thing fits, it's going to sit. Yeah, this is just going to sit the way it does. I think that's about as close as I'm going to get. So far, there is the interior. Okay. Which I'm really happy about. I think it came out really nicely, and the color selection was fairly spot on. I tried to look at the screenshots I could find online, and the little nods, those little receivers there for the wings, those were a lighter color than the gray interior. So the floor is the same color as the darker gray, but there's quite a few pieces of photo etch and resin going on in that area. So let me just install this floor piece real quick so I can kind of get an idea what that's going to look like. I got to separate that. So that goes below, drops in right there. That comes together. Yeah, okay, so there's the floor. Yeah, they want you to install the floor onto this photo etch piece, this whole big interior piece, and then put the whole thing in as a unit, but I just don't see that happening. It's just, yeah, it's got to get centered. Once it's centered properly, it's fine. The seats will go in. I'll probably have to install the seats on the floor first, and then, slowly, carefully, install it. But there's a big flat area of the original floor right here that can glue down to it. So once that's in place, it should be fine. So then we've got this ramp. The ramp section will be open. I had to use some of the retracted gear and some of the extended gear to make this happen. But okay, so there's the extended ramp. So it actually will sit on the ground with the gear I'm using. Some of it's going to be retracted, and some of it's going to, the front two will be wide open. But then you'll have the ramp going into the back there. And then there'll be two guys, like I said, two on the ramp here, hanging on, looking like that from that scene, hanging on. One will be on here, holding the other guy's hand, trying to pull him up into the ornithopter. Just going to pop that off. But yeah, we're getting down to the nitty-gritty here, so I'm going to start wrapping this up. Some people have two wolves inside. I have two wolves. What? Should be a significant improvement. The plastic got, yeah. It was just at first it just seemed very daunting when I first saw what I had to do. I was like, oh my god, And initially when I started to assemble this and trying to get the bends in the right place, I thought there's just no way this is going to fit right. But through trial and error and getting everything, you can see the fit's actually really, really good. It fits, it follows the geometry nicely. It fits right in the space it's supposed to. So Green Starberry did a good job. Did a really good job with this photo etch and all those resin bits, because there's, the resin pieces come in and they provide flat areas for these when I get to the point where I've got to put these sockets in. These have the original ball joint on here that with it had like a little tiger teeth or the gear mesh on either side, so they would move them down and pivot on these two pins. But all that's going to go away because these are going to be cut and just placed in there and glued flat down to the backs of those resin beds. All 8 of them. And I think, those have got to go in a certain way because there is a pin, some kind of a notch that prevents these from turning only so far. You can see I had to cut these down too, but it's kind of a keyed. You can see there's like a smaller round there, and that's that inside this. Inside these, there is a, as you turn this, it stops like only so far. So you got to make sure these are installed correctly so the wings will pivot the right way, or at least get the right alignment when you go to have it, whatever. This is obviously going to be flying. I just haven't figured out how to, mount it yet on the original stand or make a custom base. I don't know yet. We'll see. So that's where we're at. But anyway, boys and girls, we're running out of needs an interior LED. Stop, Julius. Because I did think about it, but their only light that's in it is really just like a cabin light in the back. It'd be on the ceiling somewhere around, the back, like right about here. There'd be some kind of a cabin light, but I am not going to try to re-engineer this thing at this point to put an LED in it. It's just not going to happen. So let's go back to down look here. You guys can see the mess that I have. It's actually doesn't look as bad as it looks in person. I think it's still pieces everywhere. I've got all the cockpit controls here that have to go, but that's all going to be glued in place once we get to that point. You mean, did I say the wrong name? Did I say Julius? Didn't I say Julius? Anyway, if I didn't, I'm sorry. I thought I did. Are you talking to me, Nigel? You mean Julius? SMD, yeah, would fit in. Yes, it would. You guys, stop. Get to the Dune chopper. Come on. Quit screwing around. I'm gonna do the Arnold minute, the last minute of the show. All right, well, let's get up here to my ugly ass mug. There's a shirt, the O. That's right, boys and girls, the O, which is right behind me on the chair. You can see it in the background. But let's go. I'm going to hide that comment. Let's go all the way. What we got here? I'm talking to Julius. Don't mean to you. Oh, gotcha. Sorry about that. Let's go to the top. So we had Angel. I think he was in first. And we got a lot in the chat today. Showed up about noon today and threw his first chat in there. Giovanni close second. Then Angel showed up for the show first. Then Nigel, Giovanni, Nick. Nigel again, and Nick showed up for a bit. Let's see who else we got as we go down. Didn't get anybody from Twitch this time, which is surprising. Usually get spammed at least once during the show. Thanks for the looks awesome, Angel. I appreciate that. I didn't see that at the time you said it earlier today. Julius is in there, and then later on. We had, and I hope I'm saying it right, but where is it? Gosh, it's got to go. Oh, George, of course. George was in there. Don't forget George. Don't want to hurt his feeling. All one of them. Gosh, where are we? Everybody's down at the bottom. And then we had, that's right, Scato, Logical. Probably know your real name in the chat, right? Anyway, thanks for joining in. I appreciate you. I do. I really do. I think that was it, though, as far as anybody new in the chat. Yeah. George who? Yeah, that's between you two. All right, boys and girls, thanks so much for joining in. It was just pretty much me scraping a bunch of material out of this thing and trying to get that photo to fit. I know it was probably boring. Next week, again, we probably won't do a show depending on what time I get released from all the onboarding stuff we're going to be doing with the new job. So anyway, we'll keep we'll play it by ear. We'll see what happens. And you guys just look for the show when uploaded. I've been uploading them a little bit later than I used to, being on sort of I have a good vacation right now. I haven't been uploading the ad for the newest live stream. I usually do like 2-3 days in advance. Try to anyway, but I've been doing it mostly on Tuesdays now. But just keep an eye out for it and see if there one pops up. If it does, then we'll do a show. If not, then we'll see you maybe in the next week. We'll have to, again, once I get the new schedule and get everything sorted out and see if I need to adjust the start times, we'll go from there. Anyway, talk to everybody soon. Thanks again for joining in. I appreciate each and every one of you. Like, share, subscribe, all the usual stuff. You guys, you know what? It doesn't cost you anything. And as always, be good humans. We'll see you next time.